Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to make these little doily, lace, and bling little stacked, they remind me of a flower. Let me take this off. And I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas of what you could use them for. So as you are hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle. If you want my list of supplies at the very end, just let me know. All right, so this is the first one that I made. Do I have it right? Isn't it pretty? And let's just go through the whole thing. Okay, so first of all, what could you use them on? Well, you could put them on a magnet. So you would just basically glue a magnet to the back, and then you could use it on a magnetic board with whatever design you want. You know, these leather cuffs. This is one I made 3 or 4 years ago. You could put something like that on here, on these leather cuffs that you can get at Hobby Lobby. You could put some of these little dots that have Velcro on them, so you could change them from project to project. Or you could make pins. I think this one, where did it go, would look really awesome on a jean jacket. So there's tons of things that you can do with them, and let's just jump right in and let me show you. Okay, so I have been collecting lace, vintage hankies and doilies for a very long time. Where do you get it? Well, I have found a lot of my supplies at thrift stores. When I was in Oregon just a few weeks ago, I really got lucky because I got a huge bag that was filled with about 10 of these and a ton of other laces for $10. So check your thrift stores. Look in your if you sew, look and see what you have. I have some of this lace right here. I just brought home a little bit. This was some of the lace that my mom used. She sewed my prom dress my senior year, and she used this. So I'll use that on something special. So look in your sewing closet, ask around. You might even be able to buy some stuff on Etsy. But the thing is, nothing has to be in great shape because we're going to create with it. All right, and I just have a needle with a long piece of thread, and let's start stacking and see what we can come up with. Yeah. Okay, so before I came live, I made some circles. That's what you want, basically. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's use this pretty piece. Same as what I have there. Let's use this pretty piece. And they can be all different lengths. I didn't measure anything. I just used basically what I had hanging out. This could be really pretty too. This was a collar or something off of somebody's dress. So as you're hopping on, tell me hello. Let me know what you would do with some of these lace and doily flowery things. Okay, so all you need to know how to do is a running stitch, which some people call it a gathering stitch. Some people say it's to cinch. You're just going to go up and down and up and down through one side, usually the plainer side of your lace. And I'm going to show you the same thing with the doily in just a minute. We're creating a bunch of circles, and then we're basically just going to stack them, and then we'll add some pretty bling. And I have a big needle here just because I feel more comfortable using a big one, but use whatever works for you. And this is just some old white thread. Ivory would be better, but I don't know where my ivory thread is right now. Okay, so I'm almost there. And I'm going to show you the difference between, this one was probably about 12 or 18 inches long, between a kind of short piece of lace and a really long one. Okay, so I have just done a running stitch, and then all I'm going to do is cinch the whole thing up as tight as I can get it to go. And then I will find the start. It's all curled up here. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I have a little issue. Piece of my thread, I kind of looped it over. There we go. Okay, so then I'm just going to bring my two pieces together and cinch it all up. As tight as I can get it. And I'm just going to sew the two ends together. Okay, and then I'm going to do a couple of knots. And then cut my thread off, thread and needle off. Okay. This is what you're going to get, basically. And this is not really even real sewing. Seriously, it's not. Okay, so this is one that I did that had a lot. It was probably 36 inches long. It was pretty long. This one was shorter, and it doesn't have quite as many ruffles. Now, to do a something like a doily, it's going to be the same thing. This is one I did several years ago, and then I never created anything with it. But you know, I have some doilies here. Okay, here's a doily. Well, it's kind of a doily. It was cut off of a bigger piece of this fabric that had a whole bunch of little circles on it. Oh my word. Well, anyways, it came off of something that looked like this. Okay, so if I wanted to turn this into a flower, I'm going to cut the center pieces off. And I'm not going to throw this away because this could be the very top piece on one of these. I'll show you. Okay, so this is what I have. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing. Got enough string on here. Probably. We'll make it work. Here in the end. Okay, so it's the same deal. I'm just going to do that running stitch around the center. And I could have left that center in there, but it wouldn't lay as flat as it will without it. Just get this completed. How's everyone doing today? I wanted to really spice things up. Yesterday and the day before, we did mushrooms. We did these really cute mushroom projects with a new stencil from MagnoliaDIY.com that was called Funky Mushrooms. and it was cute. But I felt like doing something lacy or with a little bit of bling today. So I just kind of stumbled onto an idea that I followed down a rabbit hole last night in Pinterest. You know how that happens. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and now I'm just going to cinch that up as tight as I can get that to go. One more knot. I'll show you what this is going to look like. Okay, I have several piles of things. This back of my needle book. That's what that is going to look like. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so let's build a couple of these. All right, and when I'm done building it, I'm going to come back and I'm going to glue a piece of this really heavy-duty canvas duck to the back of it. That it will disappear, and that gives it some stability so it doesn't completely flop over. All right, this was some tulle that I did a cinch on, and this was a beautiful piece of vintage ribbon. So let's start with that. I need to get my tool to close up here. All right, and my plan is to put this on as my second layer. No, it's going to go in the back, actually. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue. And it'll have a back of this heavy-duty canvas. Okay, and then I made some other little cinches. This one is what I was planning to use, but this was a piece of a doily that I cut off. I could certainly do that. I think, let's do this one. And what do I want to add to it? Let's see, we could put it on a piece like this. I think we should, and then we'll do a canvas backing for it. But I would like this piece to be bigger. So this was some lace that I bought at Hobby Lobby. It's really stiff. Do I have any more here? I don't think I do. It's really stiff, which makes it great. And I'm just going to use this kind of as a pattern to figure out how big I want to make this. This is another one of those crafts that I love because it's like I'm creating something out of scraps and things that I had for the most part. And then we're going to use some of my Totally Dazzled bling to finish it off. And oh my word, they have some pretty stuff. If you are interested in looking, just let me know and I'll get you a direct link. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on here. We may end up trimming it a little bit smaller, I don't know. All right, and now I want to put some of this on the back of it. So it's basically, I've just built these circles using a gathering stitch, that's it. And I'm putting some of this canvas on the back of it just to give it some stand-up ability. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim the excess off. And I do think off camera I might make this stiff lace a little bit smaller. Okay, that's a total mess. Okay, that's a sort of a circle. And I have some little ribbons and some of this cute little trim that I was thinking we might put a few pieces across the center, maybe just this one and this. And then we'll choose our bling. This craft is totally me. It's beige. It's creamy with texture, but mostly very muted in creams and white. Let's do a little bit of this also. This is pretty. I have no idea where this came from. You probably have a lot of stuff like that too. I'll trim this after the fact. I mean, you can just keep adding and adding and adding whatever you want. Okay, here's my project. Okay, let's select some bling. It's out of my way. For this one right here, I chose a piece out of the Cameo collection, and I want to show this to you real quick. We'll choose something different, maybe a bee or something, or a cross. I don't know. Anyways, they have, Totally Dazzled has a beautiful Cameo collection, and this is antique bronze. They also do these pieces in silver and gold, which gold is more like this. But I love this antique bronze. To me, it really looks vintage. And these are not so blingy that you wouldn't like them. Ooh, look at this pretty one. So I could do any one of those, would be beautiful. It would have to be smaller. It would be gorgeous. Very pretty. Let me put these away and then we'll look at another collection. So this one is called Cameo Pack Antique Bronze, and this is the These are all cameos, different colors and sizes. This is a pretty collection. This is either called Faith. Oh yeah, it's called Faith Pack. And it's all kinds of gorgeous crosses. Look at this one. That is beautiful. And you guys, these don't have all the mounting stuff on the back, so you don't have to cut them apart. Oh, that's really pretty. Really, really, really pretty. Look beautiful. And then there's some praying hands. Oh, here's a little teeny cameo. And a couple of little angels. So that's another option. But I think what I want to use is one of these birds or bees. So let me show you that. They also have a whole seashore beach pack is what it's called. And look how, all kinds of awesome stuff. They have snowflakes. This is fleur de lis. This could be very pretty. They're all different sizes of fleur de lis. You can make some awesome jewelry with these too. This one would look really pretty. That would be really pretty. And I will look it up. The fleur de lis has a whole bunch of Christian significance. One thing is that it has these 3 points on the top. You know, 2 on the side and 1 on the top. And I think that is to represent the Holy Trinity. Anyways. Okay, let's look at this one. It's called Butterflies and Friends. All right. This one is pretty, pretty, pretty. It doesn't have any bling on it. Here's a larger butterfly. Okay, there is this Alan Johnson is a if you're watching live, he is a troll, so don't converse with him. Just ignore him and I'll get rid of him as soon as I'm finished. Oh, look at this one. Isn't that pretty? That's another gorgeous one. And here's another butterfly. Here's another butterfly. And this one is really different. It's got like white. That might be our winner. Or maybe we go with something like this. It's little. I think it might need to be bigger. Or I could put a piece on here that has actually no bling. I don't know if you got any of the bling packs when I had my own. It's not available anymore. It was a limited time thing. But there were so many beautiful pieces in there that would look great. This is my favorite of all of them. It had 2 crosses and then a bunch of smaller things. Do that one. That's really pretty. So, what do you guys think? I'm tempted to use a cameo. Yeah, even though I've already got one with the cameo, just because I think I'm going to. This one. I'm going to use this one. Just because I'm loving these. I love this set. You get 10 pieces, and they're usually around $20. Sometimes they have deals happening. Let's pop this one on there. So what you want to do is go dig through, if you have a sewing room or anything like that, start digging. I'm going to show you some examples of things that you can use that are just probably hanging out doing you no good anyways. Okay, any kind of, this was either a napkin for a table napkin, or it might have been a handkerchief, but I think that's too big to be a handkerchief. Anyways, this was some really pretty fine fabric, and I used it on this one. Didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Anyways, it could be one of the layers. I would cut it into a circle. And then any kind of vintage lace that you might have, even something like this. This was in that bag of stuff that I, so was this, that I found at a Goodwill, or something like this. They don't have to be fancy. You could also use something like, I have one that has, where is it? This came from Hobby Lobby. It's really pretty ribbon. And it has a little piece of satin that's going through the center. I might take that out, or I might leave that in, and that could be a beautiful back layer. So those are some laces that you could use. Then look and see what kind of doilies you might have hanging out. They don't have to be fabulous. We could make one more if you guys want to. Do you guys feel like doing that? Let's make a big one. Let's do it with this. And I'll just use the stuff that I've already kind of put together. It could be really big if I put it on this. No, that's way too big. So see, it's just how you stack it up. And then I could put a piece of beautiful bling. That's way too big. In the center, and it would be awesome. Okay, Becky says, yes, make another. Okay, well, let's do that. If you need to run or you're bored, feel free to hop off. But if you're enjoying this, then consider staying. I would love to have you stay. Okay, this was one of these little doilies that look like that. And I cut the outside part off of this one. I think I'll just tack that on there. I like the combination of cream with white. Let's take a few little spots. This one started with a beautiful little, I bet you this was I think this is called tatting, handmade, but the center of it was all stained. So the outside lace was still in great condition. So that's why I opted to use that. Do I have that's already built? Put that one on there. But I want to put some ribbons underneath it, so let me grab some. Or I could do some little lace strips. That would be pretty. I don't know where the start or end of this is. This was in that bag of stuff that I got at the thrift store in Bend, Oregon, when I was out visiting my son. And I'm kind of frugal, so when I initially saw this bag full of different laces and it was marked like $10, I was like, I don't know what's in there. $10 is kind of a lot, but I bet you there was at least $50 worth of different laces and stuff like that in it. I'm going to cover all of this stuff that's piled here up, so no one will see it, except they'll see the and I will tack these down just a little bit so they're not flopping. You definitely want to use a low temperature hot gluing device because you're going to get glue on your hands for sure. See, now it's not quite so floppy. And then, what do we want to use? Do we want to use this one? I could make it just a little bit smaller just by cinching it up and giving it a quick haircut. And now it's a little bit smaller. Ooh, that's going to be pretty. One more. This one's really a lot of layers. I'm just tacking down some of the edges. We need to do our back piece. I'm just using canvas, but the thought occurred to me that you could also do a piece of thin cardboard. You need something that's going to be pretty sturdy though. And you can see this canvas in particular that I have is really pretty nice and thick. Just put that on there. I'm thinking this is really pretty, other than the gazillion of glue strings. Okay, and let's choose something for this one. Let's choose a cross. How does that sound? That would be beautiful. The rest of them are kind of too big, I think. So let's do this one. Okay, and I need to decide what is my up and what is my down. This is my up. And I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this cross. This is a beautiful set too. Okay, so now I could go on, if I had made them smaller, I could put them on one of these leather cuffs. These are so awesome. They're just a couple dollars a piece. You can get them at Hobby Lobby in the crafting and leather work section. Also, I heard people say that they found these on Amazon. You could use some magnets. Let's do magnet on this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. These are those little button magnets that you need to be so careful with that none of your pets or little people get into them. I always keep mine up because they, if somebody would eat several of them, they get stuck together in your stomach and it can be really bad. I think this board is magnetic. Let's see. I was just cleaning it off. Yes, it is. Okay. So with this one, I would probably do more than one. And it could go on any kind of a metal that has a magnetic property to it. This is a chalkboard surface from magnoliadiy.com that has the paint is magnetic. So you can see you could do a lot of different things with that. This one right here, I put a pin back on. So you could wear it on it would be super cute on a jean jacket or really anything like that. I was thinking that these could be really pretty on some small embroidery hoops. I would just cover the whole embroidery hoop. Let's do one. I got these at Walmart pretty recently. And then you could make these into ornaments. And you know, this project is so affordable, it really is, that you could make a ton of gifts for the different people in your life that you usually like to have a little something for. Okay, and I will trim all of that up and glue it to the back. And I could just take some ribbon of some sort, like this pretty velvet ribbon. Make a pretty little hanger for it. It would be pretty on a Christmas tree, or you could hang it on a, you know, whatever cabinet you might have. And this one would be gorgeous on it. Or this bigger one, I think, would be gorgeous on it too. I think I'll do this one so that you can actually see, sort of, the embroidery hoop. I'll trim that back layer. Whoops. These could also be attached to a pillow. I mean, there are so many things you could do with these projects. So what do you guys think? Did you like this? Is this something you might be inclined to do? Are you motivated to go look and see what supplies you might have hanging out in your house? I bet you most people, if you're a crafter, you have at least some of the supplies. And you can make do with whatever you have, whatever kind of fabric, whatever kind of lacy stuff, whatever kind of doodads. Yes, I'll trim this. But I think that would be really pretty. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you. Diane says she definitely will make it. Alice says, yes, definitely will be making some of these rosettes. And Alice is a gal who, she watches this channel frequently, and then she seems to crank out the projects so quick. I'm always amazed. Joan says she has lots of lace and doilies. Yay! And you know, if you have something that's stained, then you can still use it. Look how pretty this one is. A lot of these pieces that I'm holding right now have been sent to me by people who follow DIYDreaming, and oh, I just treasure this kind of vintage stuff. I have a whole, where is it? Oh, look at this, you guys. Oh, I should have had this one out when I was getting started. Darn. It's a whole container of different doilies. Isn't that just fabulous? I think it is. So, if you have questions, just let me know. If you want to look at my list of supplies, I mean, I'll include everything, even what the name of this low temperature hot gluing device is, where I got the little embroidery hoops, what the size is, the 4 inches, by the way. I'm just going to probably tell you miscellaneous laces because they came from everywhere. Seriously. And I'll give you some sources to look for doilies and vintage lace. Alrighty, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. I am hoping to be live a second time this afternoon, so come back and see what I've got going on this afternoon. Alrighty, bye everyone.